The city that is to hold the United Nations Climate Conference knows all too well that it needs to lead by example. Copenhagen has introduced a number of initiatives that aim to reduce its carbon emissions by 20% by the end of 2015. 1 in 3 of inhabitants already cycle to work. Copenhagen believes that by becoming the world's best city for cycles and increasing the number of people getting on their bikes, it will be on the right path to meeting its objectives.
The biggest environmental goal for the city of Copenhagen is to become the eco-metropolis of the world. In that sense, that we would like to present ourselves as a city as an example to other and also bigger cities around the world. If you can see it working with 500,000 people, it's much more easier to persuade your colleagues in a maybe 10 million people city.
The never-ending flow of bicycles here has been 40 years in the making. In the 1960s, this city was just as car-clogged as anywhere else. Now Copenhagen has 350 kilometres of cycle tracks, many kilometres of cycle lanes, and is home to the busiest cycle route in Europe. The city is developing a number of innovative designs to help encourage bike riding.
We do a lot of things to increase travel speed for bicycles. For example, we make green waves for the traffic lights, meaning you don't have to stop as often. We create shortcuts, and that can be done in expensive ways by building bridges. It can also be done in cheap ways by making it possible to go through parks, to go on streets where you are only supposed to go one way in a car, but being on a bicycle you can go both ways.
The increase in cargo bikes is another sure sign that it's on the right track. It's now estimated that 25% of all families with 2 children in Copenhagen own a cargo bike or a bicycle trailer. The city is also setting an example by making sure its own employees get involved in these initiatives.
I benefit from the employee initiative by actually being able to ride my bike during work hours. We're not supposed to, for 3 weeks, to drive private cars or cabs at all for meetings during work hours. So instead, we're actually able to borrow a bike, or we're being handed tickets for the metro and the train, which I think is a really cool thing.
Although cycling is a large focus for the 2015 objectives, it is not the only one. Copenhagen City has set up the Climate CPH campaign, which aims to inform and inspire citizens as to how they can act on climate change. One of these initiatives is the introduction of climate consultants. Citizens are able to book a visit with the consultant, who can offer them advice on how to save energy and money.
Well, if Copenhagen is to reach its goal and reduce its CO2 emission by 20% in 2015, a lot of people need to participate in it, and it includes the citizen. So my job is to go out and give advice to the people on how they can make a difference. And we're not talking about big investments in new technology, we're just talking about changing the habits of people.
Laura Olsen has lived in Copenhagen all her life, and today she has a climate consultant visiting her home.
I used the services of the climate consultant because I thought it was a really good idea. If we want to prevent global warming, we will have to make an effort. The climate consultant recommended lots of small things that I could do, things I would never have thought of myself. We talked about the setting of my television, we talked about my refrigerator, we talked about the way I cook my food, and the funny thing is, lots of these things I won't have to change the way I live, but by changing little things I do, I actually save myself money and help the environment.
It's estimated that citizens save an average of $260 a year after a session with a climate consultant. Copenhagen's attitude towards climate change is infectious, and it's encouraging others to follow its lead by rolling out a social networking site called World Climate Community, where everybody from politicians and movie stars to concerned citizens and NGOs can discuss climate, environment and sustainability issues, interact directly with opinion leaders, profile causes and make petitions.
The World Climate Community is an environment and community webpage for all people interested in climate change and environment issues. So if you've got an interested point of view you want to bring to the world, you want to find other people you want to connect with and work together with, you can go to the World Climate Community and work with them.
The countdown is most definitely on for COP15. For the thousands of delegates, officials, businessmen and campaigners attending the event, looking around them at the extraordinary steps being taken in the host city could go some way to overcoming some of the obstacles that will present themselves at the conference. After all, if it works in one city, it can surely work in others too.